In this phase, you transition from being young to middle-aged to old.
Oh,
Not
jeez.
old,
That was
but
way too
young
quick.
to
It's
the
too real.
60s.
Welcome, guys, to a new episode of Take Two Reacts. And in this episode, we're going to be reacting to a video from a channel called
Kurzgesagt.
Every time it just throws me off. Kurzgesagt.
Yeah.
Kurzgesagt.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Personally, this is like probably one of my favorite channels on YouTube.
Yeah, I rate it.
I've been watching their stuff like since the early days, and their stuff has gone crazy, like just exponentially over time. And just something about it just fills you with existential dread, but also it kind of inspires you at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching the first stuff going like, ooh, that's interesting. And then now when I watch it, I'm like, ooh, what is my life?
Yeah, exactly. What am I doing?
Why am I here?
Why are we all here?
Why?
What is any of this? But anyways, today we're going to be reacting to a video called What Are You Doing With Your Life? The tail end.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, we both kind of watched this already,
Yeah.
but I think it would be good to just
Take two.
do a take two. Yeah. I was waiting for that. So we're going to do a take two. And yeah, let's watch the video.
No, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's jump in.
Wrapping your mind around your life is
Oh.
pretty hard because you're up to your neck in it. It's like trying to understand the ocean while learning how to swim. On most days, you're busy just keeping your head above water, so it's not easy to figure out what to do with your life and how to spend your time.
I love that
There are
animation
a million
style.
distractions.
The transitions they do is always so
Friends and
good.
romantic partners, boring work, and exciting projects, video games to play, and books to read. And then there's your couch that somebody needs to lie on.
Technical
It's easy
difficulties.
to get lost.
Golly.
So let's take a step back and look at your life from the outside.
Gazar.
It's always so funny because
The
the
average Kurzgesagt
intro music's so
viewer is
like
around
pleasant,
25
Yeah.
years
and then the
old,
rest of you is
which
like,
a pretty good time in the
I'm so
lives of
sad.
most people.
Very
The
serious.
insecurities of the teenage years have begun to recede. Maybe you find yourself in a job or a long-term relationship. Maybe you've started a family or are working on an advanced degree. Maybe you're not doing any of that and still want to enjoy life, whatever that means to you.
well, I'll just pause it here.
Or maybe you feel stuck.
One of the things I really love about like their videos in general is how they always start off with such a relatable like context. Like the way that they address like, hey, maybe you might be doing this right now, you could be living this kind of life right now. And then it kind of sets the tone. Well, not even sets the tone, it just establishes like, okay, I'm relating to a lot of this, and then it just hits you with all this
Yeah.
stuff like afterwards, and you're like, oh my god.
And also like the way that he says it as well.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's-
this is.
Matter of fact, just
Yeah. And his voice is so like nice.
I know, it's so good.
Like, you could just be a piece of shit.
You know what? I think I might be.
Your life is terrible, but we're not judging you. I'm like, oh, Dad, thank you.
Thanks for that. My life is terrible. Thanks for noticing and acknowledging that. But yeah, we'll keep going.
Or maybe you feel stuck and don't know where to go yet. About 1 in 20 people watching this video will get to live to 100.
She.
Let's assume you are one of the lucky ones, which means you had a total of 5,200 weeks of life at your disposal when
Yeah,
you
it's
were born.
heaps, right?
When they
You spent
break
the
it
first
down,
600
like for this
weeks of
stuff,
your
it's always
life
just
being
like,
a kid
damn.
and 400
Yeah.
being a teenager. During this time, you were pretty useless for society and also not very free to make your own decisions. As a payoff, you were somewhat spared from the consequences and responsibilities of adulthood. Mostly because well-meaning adults protected you by cleaning up your mess and giving you time to find yourself. This time is necessary to make you, at least in theory, a functioning human. Although most people probably don't feel like that after puberty. In any case, by the time you're 20, over 1,000 of your 5,200 weeks have passed.
Damn.
Depending on what you aspire to, at this point you're either working already or have entered further education. The amount of fun you can have in this phase of your life varies a lot. If you pick up a trade or
just feels so
to
daunting.
support yourself or others, The serious side of life begins earlier.
Oh,
If
can
you go
relate.
to university,
Yeah.
you get to push back work life a bit longer. In any case, most people start working for real in their 20s at the latest, which begins the productive or potentially grindy or soul-crushing period of your life.
It's just like when you see it displayed like that, it really does paint a vivid picture of like how time is so limited. Well, not even, if you think of it a different way, yeah, just how much time you have really
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things.
I'm just like, oh, okay, so when are they saying, like, when is it supposed to be that you're not crushing your soul? When is that part? Please tell me.
All I see is stress.
I need the instructions.
Crushing period of your life. People tend to work
65.
which means that you spend at least 2,000 weeks of your life with serious
Shit.
adult work.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully in a job that makes you feel good.
Feels like
and
eternity, man.
appreciated,
Oh, but
or
that's
makes
30.
the
Oh,
world
hold on.
better.
Hold on.
This is
Wait a second. So you turn 30, I turn 29, which means that if it's until 65, we've got 35 years now. So basically, half of the working life is like. So now is when you start.
Yeah, really.
Okay, that's cool.
And like that's why I kind of call it the third life crisis, because we've already gone through a third of our lives essentially. That's saying if we live to 90.
Oh, who calls it a third life crisis?
I do.
Oh, I was like, damn. No, because I was just thinking, like, imagine if we were 5 years ago, like, just getting started right now.
Yeah, quarter life crisis.
Gee, whizzles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. It's cool. I think we're on something.
Yeah.
I hope. Fuck. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is such an important thing.
Very
that we'll
hands-on.
look at work and how you can try to find a satisfying career in another video. This is the main block of life for most people, the time when you might have kids and travel a bit, and climb the career ladder, and build a house, may get divorced and fall in love again. In this phase, you transition from being young to middle-aged to old.
Oh,
Not
jeez.
old,
That was
but
way too
young
quick.
to
It's too real.
At 65, you've used up 3,400 of your 5,200 weeks.
65.
The last phase of your life begins. If you've managed to acquire enough wealth to retire, in theory, you're now free to do
Give me that
whatever
soup,
you like
man.
for up to 1,800
Give me that super.
weeks. But of course, this is not how it works for the majority of you watching this video. 19 out of 20 people will not live to 100. The average lifespan in the US
God
is
damn.
79. In Germany, it's 81.
Surprisingly
In Japan, 84. In Brazil,
not as high
it's
as I thought.
75.
What about Australia?
If you die at age
I think Australia's
80,
pretty good
it's
too,
still not
right?
bad.
Actually, I have no
think
idea.
You have
81 or something.
780 weeks of freedom after you retire.
I could be
That's roughly as many weeks of freedom as an old person as you spent as a child. Unfortunately, disease and the tiredness of age trip you up here, because with old age, the human body begins to decline sharply. For example, the vast majority of cancer.
Sometimes I wonder like how my body's gonna take breaking in the next decade.
Oh, like breakdancing?
Yeah, because like that shit puts so much stress on the joints.
True.
I can't think of anything else like that is that physical that takes that much of a toll on joints, especially.
I honestly reckon that I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just
You can
nothing.
you can see like the cynicism and the
I'm just like, everything's going to be good all the time.
yeah.
Just
I
going to eat
worry a
some
little.
krill oil.
That's why we should do the fishing episode.
Oh,
Just get some fucking
Just a mouthful of seawater.
yeah.
For example, the vast majority of
That omega-3.
cancer-related deaths occur in people over 70. If you bet all your fun cards on being free and happy in your retirement, you might.
Have you watched, it's not even about this,
Yeah, that's fine.
Down to Earth? The Zac Efron show on Netflix?
No, I haven't, but I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
Like one of the episodes, obviously it's not spoilers, whatever, but like they go to a blue zone where like
Yeah.
the centenarians, like there's a high volume of centenarians per capita.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they just go like, oh, okay, so what's like the secret to like living long and all that stuff? And they said like 1 in every 5 of the people in that town or those towns like live to 100.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well, like the lives that they show like of a few people who live there, they like just walk up the hill. Oh shit. They just like walk around, socialize, drink wine, hang out, eat pasta. I'm like, I could do that. I could totally do that.
It's a really interesting point because I've seen some of the documentaries and videos talking about like what is it about people who have lived to a long or like to like 100 or whatever. What is the commonality between these people?
Yeah.
Across the globe, not just culturally speaking and all that type of stuff. And I mean, one side is genetics. That's always important.
Yeah.
Not being predisposed to like getting like cancer and other like types of illnesses and heart disease or whatever. And then the other side is like living life with a bit of fulfillment and happiness, generally just being happy.
Yeah, and like less stress.
Yeah.
And
it's just so interesting because it's like what you just said sounds like a really happy life, really comfortable, just like there's socializing, there's all these different facets that allow them to like be happy and well on all ends of their lives, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And then that allows them to like live a long life. And then I think to myself like, maybe I should just be more happy.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's definitely the enjoying the part of it. I think as long as you can find like your silver lining with everything,
Yeah.
then like make that way to the silver screen.
Like we are right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, stress less. Old people. It doesn't look that bad. Just what I'm saying.
And all of this is still assuming things work out and you even get to grow old. You can drown in a pool at age
Toothless.
7, get cancer
That's
at
the
age 32,
tooth.
die in a car crash at age 48. You can fall from a ladder at age 60. Every day the universe
Yeah, if I'm gonna go,
rolls
I want to
dice
go
for
in a
every
blaze of
human,
glory.
And every day someone somewhere on this planet
Nah.
rolls a critical failure and their life ends.
I'm
that
down
day.
to just
The
chill
older you
and be
get,
comfortable
the more dice
and
that roll
rich.
for you. Usually when you swim through the ocean that is your life, you don't think about all of this too much, and that's fine. Life is engaging enough by itself, and the future is this undefined weird thing. But thinking about it from time to time is helpful in refocusing on what you want to do and to minimize regrets you will have when you look back. And
I read
to
that.
remind you that if
Very,
you don't use your time today, you might not
relevant.
get a chance to use it tomorrow. Life is complicated, and it's hard to make decisions between all the things and people that are important to you. This has become painfully obvious to billions of people during the coronavirus pandemic. If you respected social distancing, so many things that we took for granted were not available anymore. Traveling at public places and eating out and seeing friends and meeting new people.
I just love the way that they
Spending
display
time together
information like
became
that.
limited
Yeah.
and
Like
precious.
just that simple transition of turning those dots into the COVID, like the virus icons, and then just that contrast of like that dark cityscape and then
The light.
putting the light and illuminating certain spots and then populating with like people and graphics and stuff. It's just such a clever way of like showcasing the story that they're telling as well.
Yeah.
Fucking genius, man. I love this channel.
I like the simplicity of it as well.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that what they've done, like because everything that they're doing is like it's visually compelling. So
Yeah,
it's like a series of artworks almost.
it really is. And that's kind of why I bought their calendar, because like the calendar's called 12,021 and it shows like different parts of the human era in each of like the months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I really appreciate like how they just put their frames together. It's the simplicity on top of like such complex topics that makes it such an interesting like contrast.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny though. Like, just seeing like that last point about like travel and all that stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
it makes you think like, is it worth it now? Like, is like there's stuff that's in front of you that you're missing out on because you're thinking about all the things that, for me, because I'm thinking about all the things that I could like do later.
yeah,
So I'm like, ooh, maybe I want to like kind of like look at the things that are ahead of me, like right in front of me.
yeah. And like maybe another side to that is like when things get taken away, sometimes like you might end up like dwelling on like the things that you can't have. But if you think about it, like traveling internationally this easily wasn't that easy like even a few decades ago.
Yeah.
And we have the luxury of having that now. So when it's taken away, it's like maybe it's good to just reshift that perspective and be more appreciative of what we can have rather than like, oh, what am I missing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it was like your lifestyle and like that was what you did every single day, then that's different. But
I mean, it's not to say it doesn't suck, because it does suck.
yeah. But there's so much more that's still
Yeah, like it sucks to have things taken away, but like at the end of the day, we're the ones living this life, and it's really up to us to make sure that we find a way to be happy with it. If we wait for something to happen, nothing's really gonna happen.
Yeah.
We have to go out and do something. A nice sort of phrase I heard recently was like, you don't think to have a life, you have to live to then change the way you think, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of butchered that and paraphrased it really badly, but like,
No, I think it worked.
yeah,
I
so like,
can see what you're saying.
yeah, you know, if you're just sitting there thinking about the things you can have, nothing happens because nothing's
Being done.
pushing to get that done, or there's no motivating factor. Whereas like if you go and live life, it'll shift the way that you think, and also do stuff in your life as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. I like it.
cool.
Together became limited and precious. But actually, the time you have with the people you love is already precious. Think of your parents. As a
I love this
child,
isometric
you spend
design.
basically
So good.
every day with them. Your time spent together begins to decline as you transition and become a teenager and fight to develop your own identity. As teenagers,
That is a
you probably
sad.
still see them regularly, which changes as you enter your 20s when most people move out for university, for work, or just to be on their own. If you're making an effort to be with your parents for 2 full weeks each year for the rest of their lives, which covers the main holidays, birthdays, and a bit extra, you still have already spent more than 90% of the time you will ever spend with them, even if they grow pretty old. If they die earlier, or if you see them only a few days each year, this number shrinks even more. So, in all likelihood, the vast majority of time you will ever spend with your parents has passed. The same holds true for your siblings
That's so
or old
depressing.
friends that moved to the other side of the country.
Yeah, like even though it is, yeah, I mean it is depressing, but it is very humbling as well. But like I mean like this part really hits home because like you remember like 2-3 years ago when, well basically when COVID hit, and even before that, like when I was working in like 2019, and I was saying like fuck, I haven't seen my parents in like 2 years because I live in Sydney, I live in Melbourne. And then COVID hits, and it's like, I still can't see my parents. And, like, you know, my dad's not doing well. My grandma's also, like, not doing well.
Yeah.
So, like, during those times, it's like, shit. Like, I spent so much time of my youth wanting to get away from them, wanting to not spend time with them.
Yeah.
And holding resentment and a grudge and all that type of stuff. And then over the years, I'm like, okay, I need to get over that. I need to try to mend the relationship and try to move forward and, you know, have a better life with them and whatnot. So then, like, to put into this perspective, it's like, fuck, you know,
Yeah.
like it
Running out
really
of time.
is limited.
Yeah.
And you can't take that stuff for granted because at the end of the day, they're your parents. Yeah. And that, you know, that applies to anyone that's like close in your life or matters to you. So this part's just like, it takes a real big tonal shift, because the main 2/3 so far has been like, here's the information,
Yeah.
and then it slowly transitions into this like, all right, let's put that all into perspective.
Yeah. Because like you see so many of those like, well, especially those hustle videos. You got this amount of seconds in a day, so you know if somebody
gotta
pisses you
rise
off
and
for
grind.
10 seconds, then why would you waste your rest of
You
your
sleep for
day?
8 hours, you pussy.
Yeah,
You gotta
whereas,
sacrifice that sleep to get work done.
Yeah, but then like when they go, okay, there's that, and then the perspective of like how much are you doing in a day, which is just like comes down to productivity and
It's
like
numbers.
success and hustle and all that stuff. But then it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, well, what's the other end of it? In perspective, is like how much time are you spending with your family? How much love are you giving?
I guess like another way to phrase that is like, on one end, how productive are you, and then on the other end, how meaningful is that productivity?
Yeah,
Yeah. How meaningful is that time spent?
Yeah, how meaningful is that life?
Yeah, or that life.
Ooh.
So putting in that kind of frame of mind really helps to just make it be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm just being really mechanical right now and just hustling and grinding, but I'm not really doing anything that's actually benefiting me in a meaningful way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just meaningful.
Yeah, just meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's always a hard one, like especially with like parents,
Yeah.
because then you go like, oh man, like, you know, that I don't, oh well, like, because I got a really good relationship with my parents, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like I had lunch with them. So like it's a little bit different. But then like to think like, oh damn, like, you know, even if you spend lunch, like have lunch with them often, then like there's only a certain amount of those left. Then you go like,
Yeah.
fuck, okay. So
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really true. Like, just can't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I still have a lot of like mending to do and like a lot of work to do in that area, but I guess that's life for me in particular.
Yeah.
And maybe some other people out there, but yeah, this video really does just put that into perspective and really highlights just how intentional you got to be when you have that kind of stuff in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember before I shared it on the team page, I was like, oh, this is the one. Like at this point, I was just like, oh fuck.
Because I legitimately watched it while I was eating breakfast that morning, and then you posted, I was like, this is the one.
Like all the milk is like dripping out of your mouth. The cereal.
Mixed with the tears.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, we got like 3 more minutes
You're
of
at
just
the tail end
sadness.
of the time with some of the most important people in your life.
Revelations.
One day, you will see them for the last time. And it's actually the same with everything else.
Fucking
The
this
concept
imagery,
of doing
man.
something for the last time feels eerie, like something that you should only experience when you're on death row, or extremely old, or something like that. But it happens all the time. Is there a hobby
this was
you've
the
been
thing.
lazy about for a long time? Maybe you still have those Warhammer minis that you wanted to paint. Did you always want to revisit that place where you had an amazing time a decade ago? Is there someone you wanted to reach out to for a long time but haven't yet? Or pick up that sport again to meet new friends? Maybe you will never do any of these things again because life gets in the way and at some point it's too late.
We'll soon be able to be with each other again and do fun things together. It's never a bad time to reach out to a friend or a potential friend and let them know that you're looking forward to hanging out. But no matter when you're watching this, our life is an incredible gift, and there are so many fun, engaging and fulfilling things to do. And you get to decide what and who matters to you. But what matters the most is that you actually make decisions from time to time.
Oh my god.
As she stares at the screen right at you.
Oh my god. I just realized that editing is going to be hard for you because you don't have like a screen capture of.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do that, eh? That's fine.
Yeah,
I got the
it's-
sound. Just whatever.
Oh yeah.
Who cares?
True.
Sorry, you were going to say?
Yeah, it's just more like, like where they go, oh, you're, like the last time you do something,
Yeah.
it's like that happens often, and you go, oh, okay, well, like that could be for anything. It's not just for like the things that when you're about to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you might be moved past a certain point in your life and you're like, oh, it's too late to get that started. One thing I have been thinking about recently as well is like, and probably this is the most positive way of thinking about it for me personally, is like it's never too late to get started. Unless it's obviously out of like it's impossible, like physically you're not able to, then you can't get started. But with most things, I mean, for example, I want to learn how to play drums. I can really learn that anytime I want.
Yeah.
But when I choose to is when I choose to. And I hope that's soon, because I do want to play the drums. But like, yeah, I really like how they frame that. Yeah, it kind of goes back to the whole thing I was saying before about like just doing something to get stuff started.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting for something to happen.
And it's like, you have to ultimately just make a decision. I was like,
Yeah. Pretty much. And that's why I've been like trying to be proactive with what I'm doing right now and just doing it rather than sitting down going like, I don't know.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
don't think about it. Just do
You
it.
gotta do it. It's the lesson of life. Just do.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's just finish this off.
Let's do it.
Finish him.
She just stares at our soul.
This video was based on
Oh, I mean, it's finished anyways.
Okay,
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we can skip this part because it's just all ads and shit. But
Yeah.
well, ads that support them. So support them if you really like their content.
Yes, very true.
And I have by buying their stuff because I fucking love their stuff.
It's just flexing on all of us.
Yeah. I've got Kurzgesagt merch.
Alrighty.
It's like, okay, weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I love their videos.
Yeah. I just remember watching it and then going like, oh, like, even if you are kind of doing something, it's just more like not mindlessly like going through life or just being like, okay, well, like, it doesn't have to mean that you go do something and become a huge success or whatever. It's just more like have some intention like with the things that you're doing,
Yeah.
or at least just be present.
Yeah, I guess like kind of relating to what we talked about before as well on like a previous podcast. Check out our podcast, Take Two. It makes me think about like that conversation we had about regrets. By the end of our life, how do we want to feel about the life we lived? Do we want to remember it as something that we enjoyed and was fulfilling and happy? Or do we want to think back on it like, oh, I kind of wish I did this or wish I did that differently? So whether or not you're fully present in a moment or just living in the moment, at the end of the day, it's like, do I feel like I'm living a life that's going to be fulfilling? Do I feel like I've made decisions and choices that have taken me to places that I want to be in?
Yeah.
And even if it didn't take me to the place I want to be in, at least I could say that I tried to live it to the best that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the way I like to think about it. It's probably another way I could phrase that, but that's the best I can say it now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's very fair. Like that, you know, you want to at least know that you did your best.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even if I failed at stuff, it's like, at least I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I tried to make the most of what I could. And I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. I feel like there's like obviously the big huge ambition things, and then like, you know, when you look at like the big huge audacious goals,
Yeah.
that you go like, oh, okay, like this is like the one thing that I'm going to achieve, or one of the things that I'm going to achieve.
Yeah.
And like if you don't get there in the end before you go away, I mean, like, as long as you made the most of whatever was there, like not in a productivity way either, like, were you happy? Like, did you like, you know, enjoy yourself? Did you did other people like being with you?
Well,
enjoy being around you?
That's a really good point too. Like, if the people around you are happy and you've made their lives better too, it's like, whew, what more can you ask for?
Mm.
I think that's a good sign that you've done a good job in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make your life meaningful, to mean something
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is such a deep episode.
Our first and deepest episode. Everything else is just complete trash.
I know. Let's watch something lighthearted for the next one. For sure.
That was funny. End video.
And scene. Line.
Yeah, but again, Kurzgesagt, their videos always kind of leave you pondering about your life and the meaning of life and all that stuff. So good stuff to watch if you're feeling a little bit existential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if you're just looking at, like, watching it, because you know how when you watch an animation or like cartoon, you go like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I guess they're intended to be more digestible.
Yeah.
And so like when you're watching it, you're just like, oh, that's a very complex topic, but like simplified in a way where, oh, now I'm questioning my existence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good place to leave it.
Yeah. Check out more of their stuff as well. But this one's called "What Are You Doing with Your Life?" The tail end.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to cap these?
Well, I guess we'll just cap it with thanks for watching. This has been an episode of Take Two Reacts.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, all our episodes are on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Thanks for stopping by and
Ciao.
see you next time. Bye.